Senator Rick Scott, such a pleasure to have you on American Thought Leaders.
Oh, it's great to be with you, and you guys do a great job.
Well, thank you. And, I want to talk about something maybe a little unexpected today because it does happen to be 9/11.
Yeah.
And, I still remember I'm Canadian. I was sitting in front of my TV screen. I was watching, and the world was stunned. It wasn't just New Yorkers, it wasn't just Americans, it was the world, right? I think everybody remembers where they were at this time. But you were actually, closer than many. So tell me about that.
I happened to be in the city when the first tower was hit. I was in the basement, so I didn't hear anything. I was, quite a few blocks away from it, but I didn't hear anything. And I started walking to my next. I was going to a meeting, and I heard a large crash. And then I turned the corner, and you could hear everyone was on the radio. I mean, listening to see what was going on. And then my office called me to tell me that something had happened, and that I needed to do everything I could to get out of the city. And then we started talking to. We had a lot of friends that were that had loved ones that were in the tower that day. We had in my office two of the individuals in my office had loved ones that they lost. I'm blessed that it didn't happen to my family. But when you think somebody they lose their life just like that.
Are there lessons that Americans today can learn from basically how New Yorkers responded? I guess this is a little bit of a loaded question, but I'm wondering if you've thought about this.
Well, you really have to admire that people showed up and took care of each other. First with all the first responders, and then with the New Yorkers, because you saw as people were leaving the World Trade Center, how many people helped people along the way. And so you really have to admire what New York did, and this country came together, and the world came together to support us. Because we know what happened was horrific and wrong. But we all have to be on our guard because there are people that want to harm our country and American citizens here and abroad, and we've got to be vigilant. And we got to be careful who comes in our country. We love immigration in our country, but we don't want terrorism in our country. Right now, it's frustrating what's happening on the southern border. Our southern border is open. I know we've caught 45 people that were on the terrorist watch list, but how many people haven't we caught? We had 79,000 people brought here from Afghanistan without being vetted. And over 70,000 didn't have, they weren't American citizens and don't have special visas. We don't even know where they are. We never interviewed them. We got to be way more careful about making sure we don't have another terrorist attack in this country.
There's a lot of concern among people that I speak with, both on this show and just kind of frankly in everyday life, about the polarization in our country. What are your thoughts?
I think we need to have a fight for the future of this country. I think we ought to be clear that we believe in the Constitution and we believe in each individual's opportunity to get to create every opportunity they can for themselves. We have to understand that there's a radical left that doesn't believe in opportunity, that really believes in socialism. We know socialism ends up with two things: poverty and oppression. In the last century, 100 million people were killed because of socialism. So I think we have a significant fight against the radical left. They want to take away our freedoms. They want to control our life. They want to tell us what we're going to think, what we're going to do, where we're going to live, all these things. And we can't be naive about it. We've got enemies around the world. The government of Communist China, the government of Russia, the government of Iran, the government of Cuba, Nicaragua, Venezuela, North Korea. We have people that don't believe in our way of life. And we're going to make sure we spend the resources to make sure we can keep the freedoms that we believe in.
So it can seem overwhelming. You just described a lot of pretty serious issues, right? What would you say are maybe the key things, the places that you really have to start? Are they internal? Are they external?
Number one, we have to acknowledge that there's a radical left that wants to take away our freedoms. We have to understand that, and we're never going to fix it if we don't understand that. We've got to call the government Communist China out for what it is. They want to dominate the world. They don't believe in our way of life. If we don't start believing these things and then acting upon them, it's a problem. But once we do, as an example, Communist China, we should never buy a product that comes in a box that said made in China. If we do, send it back. We cannot do any business with Communist China. The government of Communist China, all they do is lie, cheat, and steal. They don't comply with anything.
It's a huge tall order because there's still a mass of consumer products that are coming in from China. I mean, I'll give you an example. I was just talking with General Rob Spalding about how the thrift savings plan is still invested in really problematic Chinese companies.
Absolutely. We passed legislation that said that we're gonna hold Chinese companies accountable. They can't be on our stock exchange if they're not complying with our disclosure laws. We got to stop the government of Communist China and Communist Chinese and companies from Communist China tied to the government from buying any property in this country. They shouldn't be able to buy farmland close to one of our military bases. We got to start standing up for our rights and our freedoms.
Any final thoughts, Senator?
Optimistic about the future. The elections in November are going to be really key. I believe we're going to get the House and the Senate, and then we need to govern, and we need to be aggressive. We need to say we have got to take this country back and save it from the radical left.
Senator Riscott, it's such a pleasure to have you on the show.
Great, nice seeing you.